Welcome to Subramani. I am answering some of the comments which I have received. In fact, I try to answer everything unless it just says very nice, thank you, nice video. Then there is nothing really much for me to say. But and not too many people give their names. Here is Harpreet Singh says, I spent a good amount of money on partying and dating in my late 20s, and now even 3x that amount cannot buy the time. That is true. Starting early while investing is an extremely important thing. So if you started at 22 instead of 32, I mean, you've got a lot of examples saying Ram started at 22 and Sham started at 32 kind of examples, which is absolutely true. Yes, but whatever it is, you have to make good of the situation that is presented to you. And some nonsensical ones saying, I'll just skip them. Absolutely nailed it. Good, important advice is saying, why should you be disciplined? I made a video saying, why should you be disciplined and what are the advantages? So for that, this is the comment. Thank you very much, Ganapati Hegde. So Dr. Kalal Pramanik says, Subra, acknowledging all uncertainty, I believe 25 crores is a significant amount when the law of diminishing returns becomes relevant. Let's consider a simple exercise. To be honest, determine if you would be able to spend or even willing to spend 4% or 1/4 of the 25 crores. If not, it raises a question why we emphasize on the notion of 25 crores. Instead, perhaps we should encourage people to find a balance that allows them to be financially comfortable. Each person has his own cutoff. For somebody, it could be 25 lakhs. For somebody, it could be 25 crores. I am not getting into what is right and what is wrong. So, doctor, please understand, I am not here to say whether you should have 25 crores or whether you should have 2.5 crores. Somebody who wants to buy a spaceship knows it will cost $1 billion or $1.1 billion. Maybe he needs 4,000 crores. To each his own. I don't think I need 25 crores for my retirement. If I have it, it's great, but it doesn't mean I need it. So, and also understand one more thing, that wealth creation process is something which will go on. Now, if you are a doctor and you have no hobbies, maybe you will work into your 70s and maybe even in your 80s, right? I know doctors who have worked right up to their 90s. So it's up to you as to what you want to do. Do you know what you want to do? Are you trying to tell me that if your requirement is say 10 crores, the day your portfolio hits 10 crores, you're going to quit doing what you're doing? Answer is 99% of the cases no, largely because if it's a push retirement, it will happen only when you're pushed out of retirement. You push into retirement, right? But if it's a pull retirement, you might want to retire early, then you may not have a financial target of 25 crores. You'll say, no, I want to quit at least at 37, 38 because I want to go climb the Himalayas, right? You cannot climb the Himalayas by retiring at 55. You should have retired at 35 if you want to really climb the Everest, right? So, to each his own. I'm not saying 25 is high or 25 is low. 25 is a number I picked just to say, okay, here are a few people I know who have a 25 crore net worth. Should you aim for 2? Should you aim for 5? Completely up to you. In India, if you acknowledge that stock market, this is another thing. When I say that, look, I've been investing in the 1970s, people think, oh my God, that is great. There were very many investors. Now you didn't invest, your family didn't invest, does not mean that nobody invested. So here is a comment from somebody who is not given his name. He says, in India, if you had knowledge about stock market in the 1990s or even in 2000, then you were exceptionally lucky because that knowledge was kept extremely limited to a handful of people. You got to be joking, right? Stock market in India is 100 years old. So in 1970s, George Fernandez made sure that many MNC IPOs came. That must have been 77, 78 when all that happened. Are you trying to tell me nobody existed? Are you trying to tell me that when Colgate and Siemens and all came out with an IPO, nobody applied? Something is wrong. You go and check your data. Thanks to Ambani family, you brought data revolution in 2016, which means what, 7 years ago. And then with YouTube, everybody today has knowledge of stock market. Horrible comment, who I mean, he's not given his name. So again, then there is another person, again without names, the stock market was a den of thieves in the late 80s and early 90s, really. Shares were not dematerialized, it didn't matter, there were physical settlements. There were no regulators and cheating by brokers was rampant. I mean, people with zero knowledge of history, who have not read, who have just seen today's apps, think that the world did not exist before they were born. can't stop them. Gaurav Jain, sir, your videos are insightful. I'm a 37-year-old staying in Bangalore on rent. I invest 50% of I take home, 80% in equity and 20% in debt. House prices are out of control here. Even a decent 3 BHK will cost you 1.7 crore. I'm not thinking of buying a house. I have a house in the second in Tier 2 city, and I will move there after my retirement. I do not know whether it is right. You are answerable to yourself, so there's no point in me saying yes, it's great, it's fantastic. It's completely up to you, your wife, your children, what you want. If you think that you can just move back and your children will move back, maybe you're wrong. So maybe you will have to fund your children's stay in the city far longer than what you think you will. So please come to your own conclusions. I'm only giving analysis and saying such and such a thing is happening. I'm not saying do this and do that. Why not? Yeah, this question of why not other languages don't get traction. So again, not everyone is as fortunate as you have been to born with a family background. I said this because of the fact that my father had invested in the 1950s, 60s, 70s also he had invested, right? But unfortunately, many of us did not have so much wealth, whatever, I don't know. Acha, there's one hero called Puneet Rathi who is asking me, what about my comments about ITC? Go back, read all my videos, see all my videos, read all my posts on my blog. I got out of ITC at a stage when I decided I don't want to be spreading cancer. Not that I'm answerable, but I just thought I will clarify for some people who don't understand what I had said earlier. Somebody says I'm 50 years of age, and this looks like a very fun kind of a thread. Don't take it too seriously. I am 50 years of age and I have a 60 crore net worth. I plan to retire in 5 years with about 100 crores, right? So I was raised and brought up in the slums of Govandi, and it takes off. Somebody says I got 1000 crores and all that. I'm just ignoring the other comments on that. Just too many of them, and I think they're all doing time pass out there. Another video, I wish somebody had told me 25 years ago that I should have done all this. I would have entered much earlier. Now I'm entering MF and I'm 49 years old, and maybe it's too late. I've got a video saying, can you create wealth if you started late? There is. Will I put a link in the comments? I won't. So please go and check out for it. None of us know what the future holds, so better to have a balanced view and not always try to save too much. Decent proportion only you should save. Completely up to you how you want to live your life, how you perceive risk. Depending on all that, you decide what you want to do, right? So somebody says, oh, your video is a reflection of your passion and dedication, thank you. And somebody said, I liked your video, you're trying to say sell banking and buy pharma. I'm not saying anything like that. I have pharma in my portfolio, I have banking also in my portfolio. Completely up to you to decide what you want to do. Anything which I say, if it triggers an investment option for you in your head, I think you should remain calm for 2-3 days, and then still, if you remember it, go and execute. Be very careful about the execution. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Thank you.